Okay, so guys, let's start with our today's lecture. So I assume last lecture you all again went through the recorded class. You have prepared the notes and you have understood about constructors, especially how they work and what is the purpose of it. So there are two important points I mentioned: object creation, object initialization. Then we discussed about default constructors. Now let's take more examples so that we can get familiar with this concept, guys. So what I'll do is I'll firstly close all the tab. For now, you don't use any debugging tool. Strictly avoid that. Better do this manually. Take a sheet of paper, analyze the programs. Let's wait for this week. When I install the IDE, then go with the shortcuts approach. Okay? And notes preparing is must and should. Keep that in mind. Okay. So back here, I see the perspective needs to be reset. 1 minute. Perspective means this UI. Okay. So I'll go back here to the Explorer. I already have some Java classes created earlier. I'll use the same thing now. Now what are we going to do? In today's classes, I'll create a constructor, and in front of constructor I will write void. Okay. Now earlier I had not written void. So what happens when you don't write void? Let's say I'm printing here SYSO, I'm printing here 100. Now I'm going to call this constructor new A. Okay, I'll put a breakpoint here. So a quick recap what we did yesterday. So when I start the application like this, what has happened? Stopped at line 8, step into, we'll go to line number 4. Line 4 moment it reaches, an empty object is created. Now execution of that will lead to initialization of object with non-static members, returns back. Finally object's address is stored in A1, closing bracket, program stops. And this is the console. I can see the output. But now if I write here void, please see this here. When I now debug, I'm at line 8. Which line am I going to? Please see this here very carefully. How many people are now agreeing that it is going to go to line 4? How many people agree to this? Tell me. That it will go to line 4. How many people agree to this? It will go to line 4. Please tell me. It will go, it will not go. How many people are now telling it will go to line 4? Okay. Let me keep this window open this way. Fine. Let me arrange the windows. And the console I'll keep it here. Okay. Visible now? Now I'm at line 8. So how many people do you think it is going to go to line number 4? And how many people? I'm asking you a question. Wrong answer or right answer or something, at least go ahead and mention. Yeah? Tell me. Online people will go to line 4. Very good. Okay, we'll go to line 4. We'll go to line 5. Okay, we'll go to line 4. We'll go to line 4. Okay. Now observe, when I do step into, it's not at all going to the constructor, which means this line is not calling this constructor. Okay, firstly this is not a constructor. Now if I now do step over, see, it directly came back, which means object creation has happened, but this was not called. You see the console, there is no output. I'll show you again. Please observe, I'm in the debug mode. Okay, I'm at now line number 8. Observe carefully. Which line am I at? 8. You can see that here. Yes. Now from line 8, which line you should go to? 4. But when I do step into, is it going to line 4? Please observe. Is it going to line 4? It's not going to line 4. Which means there is a default constructor being called. It's not going to line 4, but there's a default constructor called, because of which object created and returned back to 8. but this is not running. Sir, why is this not running? Because whenever you create a constructor and write down void, it is not a constructor then. This becomes a method. What does this become? A method. And now when you step over, you see that just object is created, but nowhere 100 is printed. Sir, why is this not called? Because when you write void, it's a method. And moreover, this will be treated as non-static method because there is no static word. Then how do we call a method? A1 dot A. Did you understand now? A1 dot A. Okay, everybody able to understand this? Let's debug now. Which line will it stop at? Huh? No, I did not put the breakpoint only. Now let's do that. Which line will it stop at? 8. Now this will not call a constructor here because I have not developed the constructor. So this will end up calling default constructor. You see that? It directly goes to, okay, I'll show you again. Hold on. Okay. Now I used a wrong control. Now see, I'm at line 8. Let me do step into. It's directly going to a class, which means it's not going to 4. Why did it go to the class A directly? Is because a default constructor is present inside. It is calling that, creating object and coming back at line 8. Make sense now? Did you understand what happened? Now I'm going to step over. Which line am I at? 9. Now see, line 9 step into. Which line is it calling? 4 and stops at 5. So now method calling statement is calling this. Not it is being called as a constructor. Why all these impact happen? Tell me. Because of writing this void. So you should never write void in front of a constructor, because if you do that, it is not a constructor, it is a method. So now see, which line am I at? 5. From line 5, line 6, closing bracket. Go back to the place from where it is called, stop at next line. Which is the next line? 10. Program stops. Only if students have attended all my classes from the beginning, 100% clarity you will have, isn't it? But who has attended in between, skipping classes, you have to firstly join my WhatsApp group, cover all the earlier lectures, then only come here to these live lectures. Then you will have 100% understanding. Okay? Everybody clear with this part? Shall we proceed further? Okay. Now what is the next thing I'm going to do? Okay. Sir, I have a doubt. You told that new keyword, send the request to the class creates an object. So that was half the definition given. Correct? We cannot understand new keyword in one class. But now full definition is, you take new keyword. Okay, now what the new keyword does, it sends a request to the class. Now the class has to create an object, but for that constructor is being called. The constructor now creates an empty object, initializes the object and returns the object's address back. Are you understanding? Everyone, did you get this? See guys, we are applying new keyword on A only, on class A only. Okay, but when you send a request to class A, the class A creates an object, but for it to create an object, what has to execute? Constructor. The constructor executes, which is empty. Then it is initialized with non-static and address is returned back. So new keyword is actually doing lot of things here. Okay, if you club and see what we have discussed about earlier. Did you understand now? Yes or no? Manoj, did you understand or not? Okay. Anyways, other students, did you understand? Huh? Yes? Offline students are all telling yes, online are telling yes. Okay. Now, let's continue further. Now what I'll do, I'll create a constructor with argument. Let's write here int x and let us print here sysox. So now I need to call this. What will I do here? A1 is equal to new A. Let us apply the value 100. Now I have a breakpoint here. Can you see that? Yeah. Let's debug the application. Now please tell me, from line 8, which line will it go to? Very good. And when it goes to 4, what is copied to X? And this 100 has gone from here, which means I'm supplying the value to this X, which is a constructor argument. Just like method argument we have constructor argument. Which line am I at now? 4. From line 4, which line will it go to? Very good. What will line 5 do? Print 100. Is it printing 100? Closing bracket of constructor, where will it go? To the place from where it is called. From where it is called? See, from where it was called? 8. It called from 8. So when I step over, it went to line 8. In line 8 now, it is storing object's address in it. Can you see that? Closing bracket of main, program will stop. Okay, did you understand this example? All of you? Yes. So let's take more examples now so that we can get familiar with it now. Okay, initialization of X for calling of object. Now, X here is a local variable. Okay, X is a local variable. It's not non-static. Okay, it's a local variable. Don't get confused. Now, if I write here int X comma int Y, how many values I should supply here? 2 values. 200. So what will get copied to X? Y. Very good, which means you're able to follow me now. Okay, now when I directly run the program, what is the output? Did you understand this now? Okay. In the same way, if we remove the constructor, what happens? I'll come to that. Hold on. Let's not be in hurry. Now, please understand one thing. I have here a constructor with argument. Do you agree with that? Constructor with argument. Now I'm creating object with argument. There is no error. But when I create object without argument, see an error. Let's understand this, why this is happening. Whenever a constructor with argument and without argument is created together, I mean to say, when an object with argument and object without argument is created together, then default constructors are not applicable. See, when is default constructor applicable? Remove this, remove this. There is object only with 0 argument. See, there is no error in my program. There is no error in my program. Do you see this here? But now I'm going to create constructor with argument. Default constructors are not applicable for it. Default constructor is applicable only when object with 0 argument is created. Do you see any error here? No error. I'll supply value. Error. Why? Because it's telling for such an object where you're supplying a value, default constructor is not applicable. Point number 1. Default constructor is not applicable. So I created one constructor and the error is gone. But the second thing is, now an object with value is created. Now I will create an object without value. Observe what happened now. What happened now? So what I am telling is, if you create an object with argument and without, then default constructor for this also is not applicable. You have to create a matching constructor. Is the error gone? I'll repeat this again. Observe here once again. I'll delete this. Delete this. Firstly, A1 is equal to new A. Default constructor 100% applicable for it. Okay. So whenever you create an object without argument, only 100% default constructor applicable. Everybody understood default constructor? Is there any error? No. Second, and object with value created. Error, because for such things default constructor concept not applicable. Default constructors are applicable only for zero args constructor, no argument constructor it should be. So in this case you have to create int x, and you see that the error is gone. Okay, the error is what? Gone. A of int x error is gone. But if I remove this error, why? Default constructor is not applicable for this. So let's put this back here. Now see, I'll create another object. A2 is equal to new A. Because you have created an object with value, with that default constructor for object without value is also not applicable. Did you understand now? Everyone? So for this, until and unless you don't create a constructor, error will not be gone. Can I assume you understood this now? Online students, please communicate. And if yes, we will see our notes section once. We will read out the notes that will give us more clarity now. So press Ctrl F, constructors in Java. Now let's read this here. Firstly, let's recap what we studied yesterday. Read this loudly. This above program. Okay. When the program is compiled, it will generate and is stored inside. As the program does not have constructor mentioned, then during compilation automatically empty body no arg constructors will be added in. Hence object initialization will. This concept is called default constructors are not applicable. Did I explain that today? Yes. So why this program is giving error? Because object is created with a value and default constructor is not applicable. Next read. Default constructors are not applicable when object with and without values are created together. Observe, I'm creating object without value and with value. So for this, default constructor is not applicable because when with and without value objects are created together, then default constructor concept does not become applicable here. Is this part clear? Now, if you mention return type for a constructor, then it is treated as a method. Void. Now, is it a constructor or a method? So, will this object creation call a constructor? No, it will not call. Why? Because it's a method. Can we call a method by creating object? No. So, now let's move further. The next example that I'm going to take here is something like this. Before that, read this. Please read this. This particular program, read the things. Is this clear, everyone? Okay. Now, example 5. Can you read this point? Now, what do you mean by that is this. Observe here. So, if you now observe here, what is the class name here? So, what is the variable name here? It can be done, but very bad approach. We will never create variables like this in project. But just for your understanding, I'm doing it. Variable name, class name, same. Int a is equal to 1000. What kind of variable is this? Static, non-static? Very good, non-static. How did you realize? Outside method, inside class. Is this the method or constructor? Very good. How did you know that? Excellent. Are the names same? Now, I'm creating object. Now, this a1 dot a will call this method. What will it print? A1 dot a. What will it print? 1000. Let's debug and see. Yes. Now I will stop at line 9. Now when I do a step into, will it call a constructor here or a default constructor it will call? Observe carefully and answer. No hurry. Apply your mind. First analyze, is there a constructor present in my program? No. For object creation, is constructor calling mandatory? Yes. So if constructor is not present, which constructor is called? Very good. Default. See, that's why it goes to class A. After default constructor, see, it's loading non-static member because internally it has called a default constructor, empty object created, and now it is loading A into it. Did it load? Yeah. And after loading, goes back, which means this object A is now loaded. If I now step forward, variable A1 created, this object is loaded with a variable A with a value 1000. Did you understand now? Now this is a method, right? How do I go to this method? Which control in debugging? Step into. Correct? Goes to line 5, stops at 6. Now print 100, go to closing bracket. From the closing bracket of method, where will it go? Very good. Line number 10, but stops at 11. Correct? What is line 11 going to print? 1000. Did it print? Closing bracket of main, what will happen? Okay. So don't even try to by heart the programs. Firstly, keep that in mind. Okay. Just use debugging controls, understand the flow. Now read this. This example was for method name can be same as, method name can be same as, variable name can be same as, yes, but a very bad practice. You should never create variables and methods like this. Meaningful name should be given. If I'm creating a method for login, it will be login. Method name will be sign up. Method name will be forgot password. Method name will be generate OTP. You have to give method names based on what it does. Okay. Now let's continue further. Now we'll look at one very interesting concept. We will look at very interesting concept. I hope debugging is helping you. All of you. Yes or no? Is that giving you more confidence? Yes. Okay, now see here. Now we are going to see here, okay, what is constructor overloading? Let's understand what is constructor overloading. Constructor overloading. Now constructor overloading is a concept where we create more than one constructor in same class. Okay, you create more than one constructor in same class, but provided they should have different number of arguments. Let me explain this here. Now how many constructors I have here? One. Now how many constructors are there? Two. There is an error. Correct? Why error? Same number of arguments. How many arguments are here? Okay, let me write here args is equal to 0. How many arguments are present here? Okay, now let me make it 1. Is the error gone? In the same class, when you create more than one constructor, provided they have different number of arguments, then that's called as constructor overloading. And every object is to initialize, every constructor is to initialize respective kind of object. Okay, so this constructor, let me print here 1, and this one, let me print here x, or let us print here a. Let's print here what? A. Let's write here main method. Now a1 is equal to new a. Hold on. A1 is equal to new a. And let's write here a2 is equal to new a of 100. Okay, now let's carefully debug this. I'll put the breakpoint here. Okay, debug. Which line will it stop at? 11. Now from line 11, which line will it go to? Very good. It will go to 4. Now when it went to 4, what happened? One empty object got created and it is ready for initialization. Moment constructor is executed, that object is initialized with non-static member. Is this clear? Now see, step over A. Closing bracket, it printed A. Now closing bracket of constructor, it was called from line 11. Line 6 is closing bracket. Line 11 is what I had called it from. You can see this window? Yeah, the arrow mark here. So now since I called this from 11, from line 6, which line will it go to? 11. It will not go to 12. It will go to 11 because it has to store object's address here. Let's see. It goes here and now it will store that object's address which is initialized. Now I'm at line 11. See here, I'm at line 11. Can you check that? Now, which line number am I at? 12. Now let's see what is line 12 calling. Step into. So from line 12, what have you called? 7. And when you called, what happened to variable x? 100. You can go to the variable section and see what got stored in x. 100. Very good. Now step over. What will line 8 do? When I move ahead of that line, what will happen? Print 100. Just to step over, printed 100. Now line 9. So I had called that constructor from 12. Line 9. See, what is line 9? You just click on that. You click on this, it will take you to that line number. You click on this, it will tell you which line number you are at. That line 9 is closing bracket, right? Where it was called from. Just select that, it's highlighting. You see that? So which means is line 9 has to go back to which line? Did it go to 12? Yes, 12. Now, line 13. What is line 13? It says main method, line 13. Main method, line 13 is closing bracket. Program should stop. Did you understand this now? Everyone? Now, so far, we have been exclusively using debugging to understand the flow. But the agenda of this particular concept is, what is constructor overloading? Constructor overloading is all about creating more than one constructor in same class provided number of arguments are different. See, I can create one more constructor. This argument variable name can be same. Nothing to worry. Int y. And now I will print. Now I will print y. So let us print here a3 is equal to new a 100,000 comma 2000. So now you just analyze. First line 15 will call print a. Line 16 will call 100. Then line 17, 1000, 2000. Make sense, everyone? A quick way of analyzing it. But if you do debugging, you'll have a clear understanding. Okay? So first part of definition. Now read this loudly till here. Till here only read it. Loudly. You're not reading it loudly. Clear? Here we create more than one constructor in the same class provided they have different number of arguments or different types of argument. Now we don't know what is the different types of argument. I will now discuss about this. Okay, let's go back here. Now what I'll do is I will just delete few things here. Now number of argument is 1 and 1 and the type is also same. Let me change this type to float. Is error gone? Is error gone? So number of arguments are still 1, but when the type is different, still you can do constructor overloading. Are you understanding, guys? Everyone? Sure? Okay. Now if I go here and again write down string x, correct? Are the types different? Yes. Now let's create the first object 100. Now which one will it call? Line number 5. Okay. If I now write A2 is equal to new A, and let's give here 10.3F. Which line number will it call? Online students, I hope you are with me. Yeah. Which line number will it call? 8. Very good. Then A3 is equal to new A. Which line number will it call? Which line number will it call? 11. Right click, run as Java application. Observe now the output. Here we got it. So what are we telling? Whenever you want to do constructor overloading, either the type or the number of arguments should be different, or both. Now what do you mean by both? See, if I now write here int y, so number of arguments are also different and the types are also different. Okay, then that is called as constructor overloading. But see, calling constructor is a must step for object creation. Without that, objects cannot get created. Is this clear? Yes. Now, do you want to practice this much? Huh? Yes, sure. Can we just read this definition once and go through this notes once so that you can come prepared the next class? Can you read this once? Okay. Can you see the example here? How many arcs are there? How many? And how many? Okay. So now you know what will happen. This will call, this will print, and this will print. That's it. You have started now understanding what my program is doing. Correct? You have started now building readability of the code. How to read a code. See, that is the first step which you have started understanding it. Now see. Next. What is this? Number of argument, type of argument, int. Number of argument, type of argument, still it will work. Yes. What is the first output? What is the second output? Okay. Now, number of argument, type of argument, number of argument, type of argument. So when I call this, what will it print? And next, very good. So next class, so far, very quickly, we have covered 1000 lines of notes. Today we are on the 7th class of the lecture. Okay. See, the efforts now, after you go back home, should be double. Okay. Firstly, you have to handwritten notes you have to prepare. All these 1000 lines of notes should be handwritten. Then only you will understand the things better. And one more time you have to watch the recorded class. Once again watch the recorded class, prepare handwritten notes, then next day lecture. Okay. So that's it. See you the next class tomorrow. And tomorrow I will be discussing about this keyword. And along with this keyword, we are going to learn constructors with this keyword. Constructor is not yet over. Okay. So once we do that, then after this keyword, again some assignments I'll be giving you. Fine. Already 2 assignments I've given. Which one is that? And see, if you miss today's class, example, some student missed today's class. Now you'll all of a sudden come tomorrow. Will you have clarity? You might feel only one class have missed. But actually that connectivity between the lectures is gone now. When you come tomorrow, 100% understanding will not be there. So parameterized constructor, constructor's argument, they're all same. Different names are used. Don't worry about that. Okay, parameterized constructor, all the same. Nothing to worry. What is that? Sir, I'm unable to find debugging options, Java online compile. You don't start now. I said I'll teach you, isn't it? Right now, you have to do it manually. When I make you install the IDE, in every IDE, I'll teach you debugging. And right now, we are at the very basic level of debugging. We have to go to the advanced level. Like, you are in a project. How will you debug? Things like that. So people might try to confuse. Like somebody messaged today telling that, sir, will you teach us how to download the project from online to local? So that is what is the GitHub concept, right? That is what is GitHub concept. Okay, then will you teach us hotfix? Now, firstly, this terminologies people are using it, but what is hotfix? A production level bug. How will you fix it? Again, GitHub is required because whatever your production code is there, which means the live project code is there, it is in GitHub. From there only deployment has happened. That's all you will get to know later. Let's not rush. Okay. So you understand that how to resolve that particular thing. But yes, along with that, you will have analyzing logs. When any application is running in the production server, there's some concept of logs analyzing and all that. All we have discussed that in my further lectures. Okay, let's go slowly. And when you debug, loggers are very important. Logs concept is important with debugging. Okay, which we will integrate that later. See you then next class tomorrow. Okay, I hope every class is going on with a lot of interest. हाँ हाँ, तो मेरा गुरु दक्षिण अभी तक आया नहीं है. So people